There is a secret that the world's strongest people know, one that most of us spend our lives running from. It's a secret hidden in plain sight, whispered by ancient masters and etched in gold across the scars of the broken. It's the reason some people rise from the ashes of their failures, while others are buried beneath them. And today, you're going to discover it. But first, let me ask you, have you ever felt broken? Not just tired, not just stressed, but truly shattered, like something inside you cracked, and no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't put the pieces back together. Maybe it was a heartbreak that left you doubting your worth. Maybe it was a failure that made you question your path. Maybe it was a loss so deep you wondered if you'd ever feel whole again. We live in a world obsessed with perfection. We're told to hide our flaws, to cover our scars, to pretend we're unbreakable. But what if I told you that your brokenness is not your weakness? What if I told you it's the source of your greatest strength? There is an ancient Japanese art that holds the answer. It's called Kintsugi, the art of golden repair. And once you understand its secret, you'll never look at your scars the same way again. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to turn every crack, every failure, every heartbreak into unstoppable strength. Let's begin with a story that could be yours, mine or anyone's who has ever felt broken. In a small village in Japan, centuries ago, lived a young potter named Akira. Akira was known for his delicate porcelain bowls, each one a masterpiece of patience and skill. He would spend weeks shaping, firing and glazing his creations, pouring his soul into every curve. But Akira was haunted by a fear that lived in the hands of every artist, the fear of breaking. One day, after months of work, Akira finished his finest bowl yet. It was perfect, smooth, flawless, shimmering in the morning light. He placed it on the shelf, pride swelling in his chest. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. A sudden earthquake shook the village. Akira rushed to his workshop, heart pounding. He found his masterpiece shattered on the floor, broken into a dozen jagged pieces. He fell to his knees, grief washing over him. All that work, all that hope, gone in an instant. He tried to piece the bowl back together, but the cracks were ugly, the seams obvious. He wanted to throw it away, to forget it ever existed. But an old man, a master potter, saw Akira's pain. He picked up the broken pieces, turning them over in his hands. "Why do you mourn?" the old man asked. "It's ruined," Akira whispered. "No one will ever want it now." The old man smiled, his eyes twinkling. "Let me show you a secret," he said. And with that, Akira's journey and ours truly began. The old man gathered the broken pieces and brought out a small box filled with gold dust and lacquer. He began to carefully join the fragments, painting each crack with shimmering gold. Akira watched, confused. "Why are you highlighting the cracks?" he asked. "Shouldn't we try to hide them?" The old man shook his head. "In Kintsugi, we don't hide the breaks. We honor them. We fill the cracks with gold because they are part of the story. The bowl is more beautiful for having been broken." As the bowl came together, Akira saw something miraculous. The gold didn't just repair the bowl, it transformed it. The once flawless porcelain was now a tapestry of shining veins, each one telling a story of survival, of loss, and of rebirth. The old man placed the bowl in Akira's hands. "Remember this, brokenness is not the end. It is the beginning of a new kind of beauty, one that can never be taken away." Akira's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of awe. He realized that the bowl was not ruined. It was reborn, but the real test was yet to come. Akira returned to his life, but he was changed. He began to see cracks everywhere, not just in pottery, but in people. He saw the friend who lost his job and felt worthless. He saw the woman whose heart was broken, who believed she'd never love again. He saw the old man who mourned the loss of his youth, his dreams slipping through his fingers, and he saw himself, still haunted by the fear of breaking. One day, Akira faced his greatest challenge, A wealthy merchant commissioned a set of bowls for a royal banquet. Akira worked day and night, pouring all he had into the project. But on the eve of delivery, disaster struck. A careless apprentice knocked over the shelf, shattering every bowl. Akira's heart broke all over again. He wanted to give up, to run away from the shame. But then he remembered the old man's words. Brokenness is not the end. It is the beginning. He gathered the pieces, his hands trembling. He worked through the night, repairing each bowl with gold. By morning, the bowls were transformed, each one unique, each one more beautiful than before. When the merchant saw them, he was speechless. "These are not just bowls," he said. "They are treasures." Word spread throughout the land. People came from far and wide, not for flawless pottery, but for the golden scars that told a story of resilience. Akira realized that the world didn't need more perfection. It needed more courage to embrace imperfection. But what does this mean for you and me? Let's step out of Akira's world and into our own. We all have cracks. We all have moments when life shatters us, when dreams break, when relationships end, when we fail, when we lose. We're taught to hide these cracks, to pretend we're whole, to cover our pain with a mask of perfection. But what if we did the opposite? What if we honored our scars? What if we filled our cracks with gold? Modern science tells us that resilience isn't about never breaking. It's about how we repair ourselves. Psychologists call it post-traumatic growth, the idea that we can become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate because of our struggles, not in spite of them. Think about the people you admire most. Are they perfect? Or are they the ones who have faced hardship, who have fallen and risen again, who wear their scars with pride? Kintsugi teaches us that our value doesn't come from being unbroken. It comes from the courage to repair ourselves, to keep going, to turn pain into purpose. Imagine if you looked at your own life this way. Every heartbreak, every failure, every loss, each one a crack filled with gold, each one a testament to your strength. This isn't just philosophy. It's a way of living. It's the Kintsugi Path. Let's go deeper, because the story of Akira is not just a tale from the past. It's a mirror for our own lives. Think about the last time you felt broken. Maybe it was a relationship that ended, leaving you feeling unworthy and alone. Maybe it was a dream that slipped through your fingers, a job you lost, a goal you failed to reach. Maybe it was a betrayal, a loss, a moment when the world seemed to turn its back on you. In those moments, it's easy to believe that we are less because we are broken, that our value has diminished, that our story is over. But what if those moments are not the end, but the beginning? Let's look at the science. Studies show that people who experience adversity and learn to overcome it often develop greater resilience, empathy, and wisdom than those who never face hardship. This is called post-traumatic growth. It's the psychological version of Kintsugi, the art of turning wounds into wisdom. But growth is not automatic. It requires a choice. The choice to face our pain, to gather our broken pieces, and to begin the work of repair. This is where most people get stuck. We're taught to hide our pain, to numb it, to distract ourselves with work, with entertainment, with anything that keeps us from feeling the cracks. But the cracks don't go away. They wait for us in the quiet moments, in the dark, in the silence. The first step on the Kintsugi path is to acknowledge your brokenness. To look at your scars, your failures, your losses, and say, this is part of my story. This is part of me. It's not easy. It takes courage to face the parts of ourselves we'd rather hide. But it's the only way to begin the process of repair. Akira learned this lesson the hard way. After the banquet, he became known as the potter who turned brokenness into beauty. People brought him their shattered bowls, their cracked cups, their ruined plates. And Akira repaired them all, filling the cracks with gold, transforming the broken into the beautiful. But one day, a woman brought him something different. It was not a bowl, but a small statue of a child, broken into dozens of pieces. The woman's hands trembled as she handed it to Akira. "This was my son's," she said. "He died last winter. This is all I have left of him." Akira felt the weight of her grief. He wanted to help, but the statue was so badly broken, he wasn't sure it could be repaired. He spent days working on it, carefully joining each piece, filling every crack with gold. When he finished, the statue was transformed, a mosaic of gold and porcelain, a testament to love and loss. The woman wept when she saw it. "It's more beautiful now," she said, "because it carries his story." Akira realized that Kintsugi was not just about pottery, it was about people. It was about honoring the stories that live in our scars. And so, he began to see his own scars differently. The heartbreaks, the failures, the losses, they were not signs of weakness, but of survival. They were the gold that made his story unique. This is the second step on the Kintsugi Path, to honor your scars. To see them not as flaws, but as features. Not as something to hide, but as something to celebrate. But the journey doesn't end there. The real transformation happens when we use our scars to help others heal. Let's talk about the science of repair. When we experience trauma, our brains are literally rewired. The old pathways are broken and new ones must be formed. This process is painful, but it's also an opportunity for growth. Neuroscientists have found that people who actively work to heal through therapy, through connection, through creative expression, develop stronger, more resilient brains than those who avoid their pain. The act of repair is what makes us stronger. Kintsugi is a metaphor for this process. The gold that fills the cracks is not just a decoration. It's a symbol of the work we do to heal. It's the therapy sessions, the late-night conversations, the art, the music, the writing, the acts of kindness that help us put ourselves back together. But there's another layer to Kintsugi, a spiritual one. In Japanese philosophy, there is a concept called wabi-sabi, the acceptance of imperfection and transience. Wabi-sabi teaches us to find beauty in the imperfect, the impermanent, the incomplete. Kintsugi is the physical expression of wabi-sabi. It's the art of embracing our flaws, of seeing the beauty in our brokenness. This is the third step on the Kintsugi Path, to embrace imperfection, to let go of the need to be perfect, to accept that we are always in the process of becoming. Akira learned this lesson as he grew older. His hands became less steady, his eyesight dimmed, but his art became more profound. The bowls he repaired were not perfect, but they were beautiful. Each one was a testament to the power of repair, to the beauty of imperfection. He began to teach others the art of Kintsugi. He showed them how to gather their broken pieces, how to mix the gold, how to join the fragments. But more importantly, he taught them how to see their own scars as sources of strength. One of his students was a young man named Hiro. Hiro had lost his family in a fire. He was angry, bitter, closed off from the world. But as he learned the art of Kintsugi, something began to change. He started to talk about his pain, to share his story, to connect with others who had suffered. Through the process of repair, Hiro found healing. He realized that his scars were not something to be ashamed of, but something to be proud of. They were the gold that made him who he was. This is the final step on the Kintsugi Path, to use your scars to help others heal, to share your story, to offer your wisdom, to be a source of light for those still in the dark. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you feel broken, don't hide your scars. Don't run from your pain. Gather your pieces, honor your cracks, fill them with gold. Ask yourself, what have I survived? What have I learned from my pain? How can I use my scars to help others heal? Share your story in the comments. Let this community be your gold, where your brokenness is not just accepted, but celebrated. Remember, you are not less because you are broken. You are more because you have been repaired. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more people brave enough to walk the Kintsugi Path. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, join our community, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Your cracks are not your weakness. They are your strength. They are your story, and they are your gold. This is the Kintsugi secret. This is how you turn your brokenness into unstoppable strength. The journey of Kintsugi is not a straight line. It's a spiral, a process of breaking and repair. of loss and renewal, of pain and growth. Each time we break, we have a choice to hide our scars or to fill them with gold. The choice is yours. Will you walk the Kintsugi path?